come to you on Anand Rathi because the brokerage space, we had earnings, of course. We've got Grow also set for a public issue. I know it might be difficult for you to comment on the space, but just to get an understanding from you on the kind of valuations and the kind of opportunity that may lie here for investors.
Yeah, well, as far as valuations are concerned, wealth management companies or AMCs get a better valuation than the brokers. And basically, it's almost twice the valuation multiple they enjoy. So what we have been, advising our clients is to go for a basket buy kind of a thing where you have an infra plays like BSC, MCX, CDSL into one basket, wealth AMCs into the other basket, and third is the broker. So the weightage is 40% you should go for the infra play, almost 40% on the AMCs and 20% on the brokers. So because brokers have too many caveats, market being up and down, and then you have these options, sword hanging by the regulators, how much expiry they will cut down on. So all these things put to place. But having said everything, this is a space to be in for next decade. So this space is likely to grow very fast.
All right. Clear move on the capital markets index there this morning, up a straight 2%. Solid move on Anand Rathi as well, post those earnings. Let's also talk about those metal names, Dharmesh, and primarily it's, Hindustan Copper that's moving on the back of what we're seeing on gold, silver, and of course some of those other precious metals. Hindustan Copper in particular, and also we've been talking about, a whole host of other stocks that are impacted by the move on gold and silver. But Hind Copper this morning is up over 2%. Are you tracking some of these metal names?
Yes, Ava, we have been tracking metal names and we have been liking basically Hindalco, which also offers a copper play, and then Hindustan Zinc, where you have a play on lead and silver put together. And on the ferrous side, domestic like JSW Steel. So these are the three plays which we have been liking. But as a space, I do think there would be a traction in both base metals as well as the ferrous part of the metals, but primarily because industrial activities on the upswing. And silver, one caveat is silver has a huge 50% industrial usage as well. So that is also fueling because of EVs, the battery, they use silvers, the solar panels, the entire, panel use a good amount of silver. And there are other industrial use of silver in the pollution control equipment and all. So this is a trade which is likely to play out. Hindustan Zinc is still fairly undervalued if you just ask me on the valuation metrics. So I think these four plays, if you play as a basket and you have to be a brave one, you have to weigh the volatility in between. Then around 30-35% kind of a annualized return from here on to next Diwali is likely to be there.
Okay, thank you for that detailed look at the metals pack. 3.5% on Hindustan Zinc this morning as well. So the entire basket is seeing a very strong move. Hind Zinc, Hind Copper, Dharmesh also talked about Hindalco and some of the other metal plays as well. The index is up close to 1% right now. Shell, from the broader markets, what else is catching your eye?
Abha, I wish I could repeat silver, but I won't.
No.
But
We've
gold financing
established
companies,
that.
fresh record high. Muthoot Finance, 1 point. Absolutely. Muthoot Finance, gold financing company, all-time high. L&T Finance doing very well. And of course, Eternal, Zomato, fresh record high. This is something to be kept an eye upon ahead of its earnings, and Bajaj Finance. So the theme is NBFCs that finance consumer goods, that is going to do very well. And of course, this is again behind the IPO of LG India, which was a massive success. Maybe Dharmesh ji can offer us a guideline on where it will be listed and what price not to buy it at the opening tick. Abha.
Dharmesh, let me take that question to you then.
See, LG Electronics has been very fairly priced. I mean, they have left many things on the table for the investors, and this is what we call an IPO, where you have a good bargain for the investors to take off from the table. I think 30-35% should be the opening tech high. If any time during the date comes to around 20% from the issued price high kind of a thing, if it comes around that, then it's definitely a good buy from an investment perspective, because it's not only caters to B2C kind of a segment, even B2B place most of the compressors, all of LG, and they have also setting up a plant which will increase the capacity of their compressors for the overall supply to the country. I think this will be re-rated big time. If you are a holder for it for at least 2 years time frame, then it's definitely a doubler from here, just to match it to the peer valuation set, or the peers may come down to some distance to match LG's price. So we have been very aggressively recommending this to our clients. Let's see. I mean, we are hoping 30% kind of a listing price gains.
Okay. Oil and gas is also looking good today, up about 0.8% right now. And remember, ONGC is in the news. They're going to be investing about $400 million in phase 1 of the ONGC BP redevelopment project. Speaking to Business Today TV, the company said the investment will play a key role in improving production efficiency and recovery rates from mature fields. Let's listen in.
Sir, of course, with the phase 1 redevelopment of ONGC BP, project under implementation as well. What's your forecast on that project, sir? And when do we see, timelines coming to it, sir?
See, phase 1 project broadly is related to wells. Phase 2 is coming out where there are some wells and maybe some facilities as well. Couple of indications they have given when they are going with the hub model concept for evaluating things, small facility. So in case those are useful to us, still both the teams are under interaction, we may advance it. Why wait for phase 2? Do it now. Okay. And phase 1 will continue, it's couple of years only. This FY, next FY. And then by that time, next phase will come.
All right. You mentioned about crude production, sir. How sustainable is the recent reversal in ONGC's standard crude production, and where do you see production growth coming from now?
I'm pretty sure that it would remain stable, and when I talk about where from production growth is expected, see, that's why we have engaged the Mumbai High biggest. We expect some advancement there. The projects which we have conceived now, like gas production, Daman will give me some production. We are, monetizing DSF 2 fields in Western Offshore. We are ready with the broad study done with respect to, I think it was DSF 3, if I am correct, in East Coast, also to go to the market, but we are just waiting these subject matter experts to conclude the study so that we are more sure on that, and these will add us values.
And lastly, sir, 4,300 crore rupees, being invested over 20 plus projects. Which 2 or 3 of them would you think would ultimately yield the maximum output for you?
Daman will yield output to me.
Okay.
DSF will yield output to me, both in West Coast, East Coast. Of course, we have not yet committed fully. Yes. We will be committing in time to come. Couple of things we are doing in East Coast with respect to the wells. The rigs are being hired. Once they'll come, we'll deploy them. They'll give some gas volumes to me. So we are looking for additional development of Ratna. Okay. We are expecting some volumes from there.
Okay, action today then. We're looking at IT, we're looking at metals. IT, remember, on the back of HCL, metals on the back of those silver prices, copper prices. That's what's moving. We've also seen action in BFSI on capital markets index, capital markets post Anand Rathi earnings, BFSI on the back of course, financing companies, also RBL Bank. And I'm just going to get a closing comment from Dharmesh on that. Dharmesh, lots of buzz right now around Emirates NBD possibly buying a controlling stake. I just wanted to get a quick view from you on RBL Bank.
Yeah, definitely it's a big positive for RBL Bank because it's truly a huge equity infusion, and they will get rid of their asset quality problems, which has been lurking around for quite some time. And this is the third in the sequence after Yes Bank and then Samman Capital, and now if RBL Bank deal goes through. So good for the country. I mean, good for foreign participation into the banking space. But for RBL Bank, the stock, only caveat is the stock prices are quite high. So on valuation side, it may be sell on news kind of activity, and then give it a time how the performance sets in, and then investors can get back into it.
All right, gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us this morning.